Prosecutors say Martin Andresen made one mistake after Dream Market disappeared. He kept turning digital money into gold. Not servers, not passwords, bars. By the time the indictment landed in May 2026, Dream Market had been gone for 7 years. The market price had vanished in 2019. Its listings were offline, its users had scattered. But according to US prosecutors, the money did not vanish with it. And that is what makes this case so unsettling. This is not just the story of a Darknet bazaar. It is the story of what allegedly kept living after the bazaar died. Tense. Dream Market was once one of the biggest criminal marketplaces on the dark web, a hidden online bazaar where illegal drugs and other contraband were sold under layers of anonymity. According to the indictment, investigators spent years following administrator wallets tied to the market's operations. Then, in Germany, they allegedly found something they could weigh, photograph, and seize. Gold bars. What grabs me here is how old cybercrime cases almost never feel old when money is still moving. You can shut a site down, you can wipe a forum, you can disappear a brand. But if the proceeds keep being converted, parked, or touched, the trail keeps breathing. So how do investigators connect a dead market from 2019 to a named suspect in 2026 without making the story sound like magic? Step by step, wallet by wallet, transfer by transfer. According to the indictment unsealed in the Southern District of Florida, Andresen is accused of operating and administering Dream Market and of laundering the proceeds that flowed from it. Prosecutors say the market took commissions from vendors, and those administrator proceeds moved through cryptocurrency wallets that investigators later analyzed. At a high level, that means the site's alleged business model left behind accounting marks, not a public ledger saying, "This belongs to Dream Market." Nothing that simple. But enough transaction history, timing, clustering, and exchange activity for investigators to argue they were not looking at random wallets. They were looking at infrastructure. And there is the central idea of this case. The marketplace did not really die in 2019. If prosecutors are right, it left a financial fingerprint that survived the shutdown. Dream Market had already become a major name years before it went offline. Reports from the period described it as one of the most prominent darknet markets after Alphabet's collapse in 2017. Users migrated, listings grew, trust followed the brand. In the dark web economy, trust is the storefront window. The page loads, the escrow works, orders clear, people come back. Then, the market announced it was shutting down in 2019. At the time, many users suspected an exit scam, a quiet grab for remaining funds, or pressure from law enforcement. The public saw disappearance. Investigators, apparently, saw a starting point. So let me ask you this. When a darknet market vanishes, what matters more for taking it down years later? The shutdown itself, or the money trail it leaves behind? Tell me which one you think really breaks the case. According to prosecutors, investigators traced cryptocurrency tied to Dream Market's administrator proceeds across multiple wallets and services over time. I want to be careful here. This is not a how-to, and the indictment does not need to be turned into one. What matters is the logic. Criminal marketplaces rely on movement. Movement creates patterns. Patterns can be compared. 3 weeks become 3 months. 3 months become years. At every stage, the question is the same. Who still benefits. The indictment says part of that money was eventually used to purchase gold. Physical gold. Something dense. Something silent. Something you can store in a room and convince yourself is safe because it no longer looks like a blockchain chart. And honestly, when I read that detail, that was the moment the whole case snapped into focus for me. Gold is supposed to feel final, ancient, off-grid, like you have escaped the digital trail. But in this case, prosecutors are basically arguing the opposite. The conversion itself became part of the trail. German authorities allegedly recovered gold bars linked to the proceeds. That detail matters because cybercrime often feels weightless to an audience. Wallets, hashes, handles, onion sites, intangible things. Gold changes the temperature of the story. Now the proceeds have mass. They sit on a table. They reflect light. That sensory shift matters more than people realize because abstract crime feels distant. A stack of seized bars does not. The case also shows something bigger about long-tail cyber investigations. They do not always end when the platform collapses. Sometimes they begin there. A shutdown can freeze behavior. A user base scatters. Panic hits. Funds move. And that movement creates exactly the kind of record prosecutors later build into a timeline. In other words, the exit may have been the loudest moment to the public. For investigators, it may have been the most useful. By 2026, the U.S. case named Andresen and tied the alleged operation to years of marketplace activity and laundering conduct. The charge sheet mattered not just because it named a suspect, but because it suggested patience won. 7 years is a long time for a digital ghost to stay useful in court. And think about the human side for a second. Not the operators, not the mythology around the dark web. I mean, the investigators and analysts who had to keep working a dead case while the internet moved on to the next scandal, the next breach, the next ransomware crew. Most people stop caring when a site goes dark. Case agents do not get that luxury. If that detail hit you the way it hit me, that a vanished market may have been tracked through something as old school as gold, leave a like. This is exactly the kind of case that deserves more attention than it gets. But there is a darker twist in this indictment. The allegation is not just that Dream Market made money while it was alive. It is that years after the market disappeared, its financial residue was still organized enough to point back to an alleged administrator. That changes the meaning of the shutdown itself. Because if prosecutors can persuade a jury that the administrator wallets, laundering path, and recovered assets all connect, then 2019 was not the end of the story. It was the moment the story became forensic. If you like cases where the evidence comes from old indictments, wallet trails, and details most headlines skip, subscribe. I cover a new true crime tech case here every week. There is also a lesson here that goes beyond Dream Market. People talk about anonymity online as if it is a switch, on or off, hidden or exposed. Real investigations do not work like that. They work like sediment. Tiny layers. A transfer here, an account there, a purchase years later. A seized object in a different country. Eventually, the pile gets heavy enough to hold. And my view is this. The most dangerous myth in cybercrime is not that criminals are invincible. It is that old cases are dead. They are not dead if the money is still leaving fingerprints. So when people say a Darknet empire disappeared in 2019, I think this indictment suggests something more precise. The website disappeared. The alleged prophets kept talking. According to the Department of Justice, the case centers on conspiracy and money laundering allegations tied to Dream Market's operation. Public reporting around the indictment also points to assistance from German authorities in recovering assets. That cross-border piece matters. Darknet markets sell a fantasy of nowhere. Investigations defeat them by making every step somewhere. A server, a wallet, a vault, a courtroom. One question keeps nagging at me, though. How many other dark web cases that look finished are really just waiting for one physical asset, one exchange record, one customs trail, one mistake? Because behind every marketplace brand, there were real shipments, real overdoses, real victims, real laundering networks, real money made from other people's damage. The interface looked digital. The consequences never were. And that is why this case lands with such force. It reduces a myth to evidence. A vanished empire, a 7-year gap, a named suspect, wallets, gold bars. If true crime tech is your thing, subscribe and join me here. I dig through indictments, court records, and forensic clues, not just headlines. And next time, I want to show you another case where the real break did not happen during the crime, but years after everyone thought it was over.